Hi class, Mr. Cardinal here with Section 4 and Section 5 from Chapter 5, Understanding Fractions and Equivalent Fractions. You must be able to describe fractions as parts of regions or sets or as locations on a number line, and also use what you know about fractions to be able to come up with equivalent fractions. First, on the left-hand side of the paper, you can see that fractions are used to show part of a set. You have 3 stars and 4 moons. The fraction of the shapes that are stars can be written as 3/7, 3 being the number of stars and 7 being the total number of shapes. I do want you to recall the 2 vocab terms, numerator, which is used to describe the number on the top of a fraction, and denominator, which is the total number, and that is at the bottom of a fraction. The second example shows you a number line. Fractions are used to show part of one whole. In this particular case, we have 0 and the number 1 on a number line. It is divided into 4 equal sections, so the fraction for the shaded section can be written as 3/4, because again, 3 sections of my number line are shaded, and there are a total of 4. Looking at the examples down here on your reteaching, they've already told us that there are 4 shaded squares, and the total number of parts is, and if you count them all together, including the 4 shaded, equals 9. So my fraction is 4/9. This one here is shaded, and you have an additional 4 shaded over here to bring it to a total of 5 shaded parts. In addition to the 5, we have another 6 circles, so that brings it to 11 total circles. So our fraction then is 5/11. 2 more examples. I want to do these because of the number line. Again, total number of parts on a number line. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 total equal parts, and a total of 7 of them are shaded, so 7 is my numerator. And here our fake ruler shows us centimeters, and there are 10 sections if we count and add them together. 10 sections is the total, and we have a total of 4 sections shaded, so our fraction is 4/10. Now we can, for those of you that recall, make 4/10 into a smaller or simplified fraction. So 2 goes into both 4 and 10. 2 goes into 4 twice, and 2 goes into 10 5 times. Now Section 5 talks about equivalent fractions, and there are a few notes for you to remember in terms of equivalent fractions. There is an infinite number of possibilities that you can come up with in terms of an equivalent fraction, as long as you follow these simple rules. You use multiplication to find an equivalent fraction, such as 3/7. An equivalent fraction for 3/7 is 12/28, because we multiplied 4 to both the numerator and the denominator. You can also use division to find an equivalent fraction, and again, we're talking simplest form. As you can see, 10/12 is the same as 5/6, because 2 goes into both 10 and 12. So looking at our last example on our reteaching for 5/4, that 4/10, an equivalent fraction for 4/10 is 2/5, which is the simplified form. Equivalent fractions name the same amount. It does not matter. It is still representing the same amount. And remember, you can multiply or divide fractions by 1. Okay, so 4/4 equals 1, and 2/2 equals 1. So 3/8. If I want to take 3/8 and find an equivalent fraction, I can multiply 3/8 by 2. So I'm going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 2 to give me a new fraction, which is 6/16. That is an equivalent fraction for 3/8. Same thing for 1/3. I'm going to change it up a little. Let's multiply both sides, or both numerator and denominator by 3. So my numerator is 3, my denominator is 9. So 3/9 is equivalent to 1/3. 4/7, I can multiply both by 10, and I have 40/70. 40/70 is equivalent to 4/7. I'm going to see if I can find one. Well, the next set here, 10 through 18, using division. I know that 3 goes into both 9 and 12, so I'm going to divide both by 3. So I end up with 3/4. And again, 3/4 is an equivalent fraction to 9/12. It's also in simplest form. 4/18, going to divide both by 2. So I end up with 2/9. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. I want you to obviously come to class prepared. The reteaching for both sections will be on the stool for you to include in your notes. Thank you. Have a great night.